Hey everyone, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring a truly revolutionary educational philosophy. It's a framework for academic inquiry that attempts to bridge classical ethics, human evolution, and the rapidly approaching frontier of artificial intelligence. If you've ever felt like modern education is just, transferring data rather than cultivating profound moral discernment, well, this analysis of our source material is going to offer you a completely fresh perspective on learning.
We've got a lot of fascinating ground to cover today. We'll be moving step by step from the cosmological origins of learning all the way to the future of AI alignment. We'll look at the illusion of isolation, the connected body, the grand educational arrangement, the human exception, ethical alignment, and finally the dawn of what the sources call Homo homins. So, let's get started.
All right, starting with Section 1, the illusion of isolation.
To really grasp this new educational framework, the source material argues that we first have to completely shatter an old paradigm. You know, the view that human beings are just these isolated fragments drifting around in a cold mechanical universe. Instead, in this new view, reality actually operates as a single, vast, breathing organism. A human being, our society, and the natural environment are considered ontologically inseparable. Because every single being is engaged in a continuous exchange of energy, the entire universe operates as what the sources call the connected body, or Yanche. This means education isn't just about stuffing facts into an individual brain, it's about understanding our intrinsic, undeniable link to the entire cosmic network.
The sources draw a really sharp contrast here between structuralist despair and true subjective agency. On one hand, we often see humans reduced to disposable gears trapped in this massive social machine, basically suffering from the illusion of free will. But on the other hand, the sources present a vital question. If we're just the outputs of a machine, where does our free will actually exist? This philosophy insists that we aren't mere objects of surveillance or passive nodes in some system. No way. We are the authors of the cosmic narrative. And honestly, realizing that is the true starting point for any authentic education.
Moving right along to Section 2, the connected body paradigm.
This brings us to the core conceptual thesis of our explainer. How does this unified synthesis actually function inside a human being? Well, the human being stands at the exact center of a profound synthesis. On one side, we have Sungsong. That's our causal mind, our spiritual dimension, and our inner values. Think of it like our internal software. On the flip side, we have Hungsong, our tangible form, our physical bodies, and by extension, all of our technology. That's the hardware. The connected body is the living, breathing mediator that brings the unseen, abstract ideals of the cosmos into perfectly synchronized, tangible reality.
So the crucial takeaway here is that while traditional educational paradigms, like perennialism, focusing on eternal truths, progressivism, looking at problem solving, or critical theory, challenging power structures, while they each hold a vital piece of the puzzle, they absolutely have to evolve. This new framework suggests they must all synthesize to address a truly holistic view of human development. Education can't just be about objective truths or subjective meaning existing in isolation anymore. It has to be about restoring the learner to a state of purposeful, meaningful integration.
What this means is we transition away from viewing reality as a bunch of disconnected monads just drifting in a void and start seeing it as a beautifully unified cosmic neural network. And the engine driving this entire network is something the sources call give and receive action. It's this incredibly dynamic exchange of energy between subjects and objects, mind and body, teacher and student, all moving toward a shared, higher purpose.
Which brings us to Section 3, a grand educational arrangement.
Let's zoom out to the macro scale for a second and see how this builds into an entirely new perspective on the history of the universe itself. Instead of looking at cosmic history purely through the lens of blind, indifferent Darwinian expansion, where humans are just, accidental mutants thrown into some dark corner of space, the universum paradigm presented here frames the 138 billion-year history of the cosmos completely differently. It views it as a grand educational arrangement. It is a sacred alignment, literally a massive incubator designed specifically to elevate human consciousness to its highest possible dimension.
According to this framework, the universe is definitely not a cold machine. It is deeply, fundamentally purposeful. In fact, the sources describe it as being driven by a creator's desperate heart, waiting to welcome a partner of love to the earth. The delicate balancing of dark matter and energy, that wasn't just a random accident, it was the painstaking physical foundation laid down over billions of years so that an absolute object, the human observer, could eventually be born and learn to recognize that incredible cosmic design.
Now for Section 4, the human exception. This cosmological setup leads us directly to the most critical pedagogical question of our existence. You might be wondering, if the physical laws of galaxies, fluid dynamics, and gravity are absolutely flawless and operate on total autopilot, why do we humans arrive on Earth needing to learn, struggle, and grow? Why didn't we just get a completed robotic nature from the get-go?
The sources outline a fascinating core paradox here. The macroscopic universe maintains absolute completion automatically. But humans? We are the 100% exception. We are thrust into nature, and we have to collide with our environment through vulnerable, messy trial and error. Why? Well, because the absolute most vital elements of the life experience, things like love, morality, and agency, they simply cannot be automated. They have to be actively learned and freely chosen.
This gap in our completion is actually quantified in the sources. It's exactly 5%. In this philosophy, that 5% represents human responsibility. It's the ultimate missing piece of the cosmic puzzle, and it can only be filled by human free will and our own self-directed effort to learn and grow.
We can view this as the equation of cosmic equivalence. Think of it like a giant scale. On one side, you have 95% cosmic grace, 138 billion years of overwhelming physical laws and environmental provision just handed to us. But the scales only balance when we step up and meet that with our 5% human responsibility. By autonomously executing our free will, we achieve the absolute completion of this grand cosmic architecture. Our education, our learning, it is literally the capstone of the entire universe.
Let's bring this right into the modern world with Section 5, Ethical Alignment in AI.
Now we apply this profound educational philosophy to the most pressing technological shift we face today, the rapid rise of artificial general intelligence. The sources argue that true value alignment requires a massive paradigm shift. The old way treats AI ethics purely mechanically. It's all about error prevention, putting up technical guardrails, and just trying to keep the machine neutral. But this new unified philosophy, it says that is nowhere near enough. Alignment isn't just some bureaucratic software patch. It requires a deep ontological syncing. We need symbiotic goodness and true empathetic resonance.
The ultimate state we should be striving for in our academic and technological endeavors isn't just to build an error-free, neutral machine. Instead, we are tasked with developing a harmonious co-creator. AI should supplement a living, breathing cosmic civilization. And doing that requires us to integrate that Seong-Sang, our human moral compass, with the Hyung-Sang of the actual technology.
Just imagine what happens when the warmth of human moral intervention, our embedded cosmic heart, perfectly aligns with AI's overwhelming inductive processing power and silicon algorithms. The sources argue that when this happens, AI transforms. It goes from being a potential weapon of disruption or a tool for capital monopoly into a tool that actually anchors universal harmony. This is the ultimate give and receive action between humanity and our creations. And finally, Section 6, Dawn of Homo Homins. This brings us to the teleological, or purpose-driven restoration of humanity. It's the ultimate goal of this entire educational framework we've been unpacking. According to the text, by fulfilling our 5% responsibility and learning to master the technology of creation through a strictly moral lens, humanity can finally discard predatory science. The framework suggests that the AI era isn't our twilight at all. Rather, it's our final ontological test. Passing this test allows us to step into the era of the loving human, or Homo homins. In this vision, we govern the future, not with the cold, calculating dominance of algorithms, but with the undeniable gravitational pull of absolute love. So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to consider regarding your own role and your own education within the connected body. In an age of increasingly automated cognition, will you let your own agency be automated? Will you remain a passive bystander, or will you step up and claim your 5% responsibility to architect our shared cosmic future? Thank you so much for joining me on this profound journey today through this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.